Welcome to part 3 of a 3-part series talking about different tips when it comes to stacking and being a precious metals dealer. The first 2 videos, video 1 was talking about stacking. Video 2 were steps 1 through 7 or tips 1 through 7 when it comes to becoming a precious metals dealer. Today I'm going to be talking about the last 5 tips on becoming a precious metals dealer. Let's just jump right into it. All right, so for those of you that are watching this video, tip number 8, I'm just continuing straight from where I left off before, is to not let inventory get away from you. What do I mean by that? I got carried away myself when it came to stocking various items for inventory. Because what has happened a lot of times that I've been selling is that people will pop onto my live stream auctions and they'll ask me, hey, do you by any chance happen to have XYZ coin? And to me, that is a sales opportunity. And I want to make sure that I have that particular coin on hand. So oftentimes what I would do is instead of just buying 2 or 3 of a particular item, I would buy 5 to 10 of a particular item. And if it's a very hot item, I would buy even more. And what I've learned from that is that, yes, it's good that you have those items in the off chance that somebody happens to ask you for it or wants that particular item. But most of the time, they're not going to. They're not going to say, by any chance, do you happen to have this particular coin? And I've learned, too, that it is far too difficult to be all things to all people. You really would be tying up a tremendous amount of capital if you just buy all that inventory and just let it sit. It becomes essentially wasted opportunity. You want to be buying and selling frequently because that's the money that is going to fuel your business and that you want to keep feeding into the business. So I would say make sure that you have a good handle on your inventory and that you are not getting too heavy with particular collectibles. Track your inventory also with a spreadsheet. Sounds, very basic, but I can't tell you how many people don't do this. And for me, I like to know exactly how much of a particular item I have, how much it costs me, what items I have, because if you do start growing an inventory, it is going to be difficult to track all of that stuff. So you want to make sure you have very good records of everything that you have. Going along with being too overweight with collectibles brings me to tip 9, which is to not be afraid to sell at a loss. I know that that sounds really insane because that's not a sustainable business model to buy things and sell them at a loss. I completely agree. But oftentimes what's going to happen is you might be sitting on a particular item and you aren't getting the money that you want for it. Let's just say, for example, this Mike Tyson card, pretend I spent $250 on it and I want to be able to get, $285, and I keep trying to sell it week in, week out, and nothing's happening. You shouldn't be afraid to at least try to get out of it what you put in. So I'm going to then try to sell this at $250, at least try to break even. Let's say it doesn't even sell at $250. Well, I've faced this so many times on my live streams. And what is it that I typically do? Those of you that know, I would then start bidding off at $1. And oftentimes I will take a major beating when I do that. But I would much rather get the money, as much money out of the particular item back so I could use that in another particular item that I am going to be able to buy and sell relatively quickly. The other thing too is when I say don't be afraid to sell things at a loss, you want to have a variety of other things that you can sell, because what's going to happen is those other items, you're counting on those to actually be sold and make profits, which will then offset the losses from the particular items. Does that make any sense? So anyway, don't be afraid to sell certain things that are just sitting there collecting dust at a loss. And speaking of collectibles, before I get into tips 10 through 13, which are extremely important when it comes to being a precious metals dealer. I do want to talk about this next item, which was sent to me from none other than Spectres. Now, Spectres sent me not just the Theodore Roosevelt hunting knife back there, which I reviewed in part 1 of the series, not just the Ace of Spades Genovese crime family card that they sent me, and I reviewed that in part 2, but they also sent me this coin, which I am very excited to talk about. And this is the Gong Gong, Wrath of Water Deity coin. Now, if you don't know Spectres, Spectres has created such a tremendous variety of products so far. And I would say that their breakthrough item they did in conjunction with Bullion Exchanges is the 2-ounce pistol. That 2-ounce Pew Pew was just so cool. They got a lot of attention from the people within the stacking and collecting community. And Spectres has now been creating such amazing pieces. And this one being one of them as well. Now, I don't know a lot about the different, this particular piece, but this is from Chinese mythology. And this happens to be number, 159 out of 500. And so the ancient Chinese god of water is a figure of untamed force and chaotic power in Chinese mythology. Known for its serpent-like body and iron forehead, Gong Gong was feared for his destructive influence over water. This coin, when I saw pictures of it, and I'm just going to stop blabbing, but here's the COA, 2 ounces of awesomeness. Look at this detail here. So you push down here to get it out. A lot of these types of coins, some people struggle. You usually just push down at the bottom of the particular coin. But let's get into this thing. Look at that. Ultra high relief. I mean, Spectres really does a tremendous job when it comes to their design. Wow. And I've also done the Commanders of War Hannibal coin. I've done a review on that coin, which was also a Spectres piece. Just really cool. So this depicts Gong Gong commanding the seas, surrounded by the colossal waves as he conjures a destructive whirlpool. And his formidable companion, Shang Lu, and I'm probably mispronouncing it, but Shang Lu is a 9-headed serpent beast, joins the scene symbolizing chaos and emphasizing the theme of water. So on the obverse is, let's see here, I mean, you've got, this thing just keeps on going. Dynamic portrayal of Shang Lu in a different form, this time as 9 individual serpents, each in an attacking stance. I mean, let me try to zoom in on this. Let's get all freaky naughty here. Look at this. Okay, and this is right here, released from the Republic of Chad. 3/9 fine silver. Got a face value of 10,000 francs, and again, only 500 pieces. Tremendous amount of detail. Look at this. That is awesome. Definitely check out their website, spectres.io. If you go on Instagram, you can also follow them and make sure you let them know that Stormy sent you. And again, Spectres, I want to thank you for sending me these coins to review. Just awesome job. I'm not surprised, though. I've been in touch with the founder of Spectres for quite a while now, and he does some tremendous work. So bravo, buddy. All right, so now getting back to the tips of being a precious metals dealer and having some awesome collectibles. You want to be somebody that is focused on relationships. So step 10 is relationships. I cannot tell you how crucial it is to have solid relationships with other dealers in the industry and have a very good rapport with the other dealers, because you never know who is going to be able to help you in a pinch. Maybe you're looking for a particular item for a customer. I've done this before where somebody's reached out to me and they say, hey, do you happen to have another one of these? And I would say, you know what? I don't, but let me see if I could get one for you. And I have a couple of wholesalers and dealers that I work with where I'm able to just call them, and sometimes they're able to get me the item and I'm able to make another sale. So it's important to have those relationships. You also never want to burn bridges. You never know, where life takes you. And so you always want to end things on a positive note, because you never know when you're going to cross paths again with particular individuals. And then also with those relationships, okay, they make introductions for you into other companies that can lead to sponsorship deals, that can lead to things like this here where you get things to review. But relationships are critical in the business. And then that also, not just on the business side, but with your customers. The reason I've been able to stay in business for the last, I would say, 5.5 years is because of the relationships that I've built with my customer base. They are loyal. They are with me week in and week out. They make introductions for me to their friends and family, and that just compounds and grows the business further. So relationships are critical. I would say tip 11, you want to be able to adapt to changes in the market. Things change all the time within the precious metals industry, not just the prices of things, but also the people's appetites. I've seen people more interested in collectibles, and then the mood changes and they're more interested in buying bulk stuff, or maybe they just want constitutional silver. You want to make sure that you can adapt, and with being flexible, you want to make sure that you have, again, cash on hand, because that is critical and can make things a lot easier for you. That being said, tip 12, you want to be careful with the markets, because again, the precious metals market constantly fluctuates, spot fluctuates. So you want to always be on the lookout for opportunities to sell. For me, when I'm buying and selling precious metals, I would be selling usually once a week. And the problem with that is that if the prices of gold go up or down, you're going to either benefit or lose. So for example, if I were to buy this coin for $2,500 and then spot drops over the course of the week down to $2,400, then you're screwed. So you want to be buying and selling frequently and constantly. So that in mind, I would say step 13 or tip 13 is consistency. And I would say that this might be the most critical, aside from relationships. You want to be consistent. If you're a precious metals dealer on social media, you want to make sure that you are consistently posting on social media. I've seen a lot of people that get into it and they're very diligent in the beginning and then they drop off. Personally, I've been doing this now nearly for 6 years on YouTube, and I have been consistent in that I have never really missed a week of posting content. Over the last, I would say, few months, the amount of content that I've put out has dropped down. Instead of doing 3 videos a week, I've been only able to do 1 video a week, but I'm still doing, 1 live stream per week. And I still have YouTube shorts going out daily, but you have to be consistent. And that's not just on one platform, that's across multiple platforms. If you're on YouTube, I would say you also need to be on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, in some cases, Twitter, or now known as X, but you have to be consistent. Otherwise, if you just drop off the face of the earth when it comes to being a social media seller, people aren't going to view you as being, I would say, reliable and dependable. And if they see that you are very inconsistent, that, in my opinion, is a negative reflection of your commitment to the business and to the customers that you serve. So that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this 3-part series. Let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts on these final tips for being a precious metals dealer? Are you thinking about getting into precious metals or stacking for that matter? And what do you think about collectibles? Do you own any? And again, thanks so much for your time. Comment below. I'll do my best to respond to each and every one of you, and I'll see you guys on the next one.